Today we will read a story about up, up, and away. But before that, let's get familiar with some words first. Chart. Look at the chart in this picture. A chart is a drawing that gives information. This chart shows the names of several children and tells who the line leader for each day of the week is. Who is the line leader on Thursday? Yes, Amy is. Button. A button is a small knob that you press or turn to make something work. A button is similar to a switch, something that turns things on and off. Look at the buttons on the remote control. Then look at the picture again and find the box in the corner. What does it show? Yes, a button is also used to hold the parts of clothes together. View. A view is what you can see from where you are. What is the view from the window in this picture? Yes, view is of a city. Land. Land is the part of the earth that is not water. You can see land next to the pond in this picture. Then look at the picture again and find the box in the corner. It shows a different meaning for land. When a plane touches down on land, we say the plane has landed. Tearful. A little girl is crying in this picture. If you have tears in your eyes because you are sad or upset, you are tearful. Whole. Whole means complete, entire, or all of something with nothing missing. Maggie's whole family went to California. Mama, Papa, Maggie, and Diego. If only Maggie and her mother went, would that be the whole family? No. This picture shows a whole watermelon and just one piece of a watermelon. Astronaut. What do you see in this picture? An astronaut. An astronaut is a person trained to travel in space. Astronauts wear special clothing to protect them. Dim. Dim means it wasn't bright. Look at the picture. Which room is dim? Yes, the one with the sleeping boy. Scale. Fish have scales. Scales are a little hard, flat plates on their skin that protect chem. Other animals, like snakes, have scales too. Let's look at the picture again and find the box in the corner. What do you see there? Yes, it is another kind of scale, the kind you use to weigh yourself. Tilt. When something tilts, it leans or tips to one side. It is uneven. Look at the chair in this picture. Can you see how it is tilted back? Next, let's move to today's story. Up, up, and away. It was school vacation, and Maggie and her whole family were going to visit relatives in California. Maggie, Mama, Papa, and Diego were on their way. Aunt Nora, Uncle Pedro, and Sophia were coming later in the week. Maggie was excited because they were going to fly there in an airplane. Diego was excited because Mama had bought him a stuffed animal at the airport gift shop. As they boarded the plane, Maggie stared wide-eyed through the entrance to the cockpit. "Wow, look at all that stuff," she said, pointing to the instruments and charts. "I've never seen so many buttons and switches in one place." The captain said hello to Maggie and Diego. "What have you got there, little guy?" he asked Diego. "Doggy," Diego replied, hugging his stuffed animal. "Do you like real dogs?" the captain asked. Diego nodded. "Well, we have a real dog on this flight," he said. "He's in a carrier, under a little girl's seat." Diego looked excited. Maggie was thinking about the time Diego brought his pet, Pickles the turtle, on vacation. This morning, Papa had carefully checked Diego's pockets and his backpack before they left for the airport, just in case he tried to bring him again. When they found their seats, Maggie looked out the window. "This is so cool. I'm going to have a great view of the mountains when we fly over them." Just then, a flight attendant announced that they were about to take off. As the plane started to move, Diego yelled, "I'm an astronaut!" The people around him smiled. Maggie frowned. "Astronauts fly in space shuttles, not in airplanes," she thought to herself. The plane zoomed down the runway and lifted up into the air. Maggie looked out the window and saw that they were high above the ocean. The ride was a little shaky at first, but it quickly became steady. The pilot made a big turn, and then they were flying over land. The hum of the plane's engines was so soothing that Diego soon fell asleep. As his arms relaxed, his stuffed dog fell to the floor. Maggie opened a coloring book, but the light in the plane was too dim to see clearly. Mama reached up and switched on the light above Maggie's seat. As she was coloring in the scales on a picture of a goldfish, Maggie started to feel sleepy. Soon her eyes closed, and she was fast asleep. Papa tilted his seat back and closed his eyes. Mama was reading a book when suddenly a voice came over the loudspeaker. "May I have your attention, please? This is the captain. It seems we have a lost pet on the plane. Don't worry, folks. It's just a little dog, but he has gotten out of his carrier. If you see him, please call a flight attendant." Maggie woke up when she heard the announcement. She looked around and saw people searching everywhere for the missing dog. A tearful little girl was holding her dog's empty carrier. "I didn't mean to let him out, Mom," she said. "I was just making sure he was okay." The little girl continued to cry. "It's okay, Zoe," said the little girl's mom. "We'll find him." Maggie looked over at Diego, who was still sleeping. She noticed he had dropped his stuffed dog. Then she noticed something else. There on the floor, curled up next to Diego's stuffed animal, was a real dog, and the cutest little dog Maggie had ever seen. Maggie leaned into the aisle and motioned to Zoe to come over. "I think I see you are dog," said Maggie, pointing under Diego's seat. "Naughty Coco," said Zoe, bending down to pick up her dog. She gave Coco a big hug. "I guess my dog found a friend." She picked up the stuffed dog and sat it next to Diego, who was still sleeping. "Thank you for finding Coco." Zoe took Coco back to her seat and put him in his carrier. The captain announced that the missing dog had been found. Diego slept all the way to California. As they were leaving the plane, the captain said to him, "Nice job, little guy." Diego smiled, but he had no idea what the captain was talking about. He had slept through all the excitement. The end.